Hey guys, it's Laura here again. Welcome to another video and let's get into it. Today's video is actually inspired by my newborn niece as she was named after this artist. This video focuses on the Surrealist artist Leonora Carrington, most well known for her ambiguous paintings that incorporate images of sorcery, metamorphosis, alchemy and the occult. But why did she only paint animal-human hybrids, giant goddesses, spaces for magical transformation, and enigmatic creatures? Why was this her style? Leonora was born in 1917. She spent her childhood on the family estate in Lancashire, England. There she was surrounded by animals, especially horses, and she grew up listening to her Irish nanny's fairy tales and stories from Celtic folklore, sources of symbolism that would later inspire her artwork. Carrington was a rebellious and disobedient child, educated by a series of governesses, tutors and nuns. She was expelled from at least 2 convent schools before being sent to boarding school in Florence at about age 14. There she began to study painting and had access to some of the world's best art museums. Reluctantly, Carrington's parents let her move to London to pursue art at Amédée aux Enfants Academy. At 19, Carrington visited her first international Surrealist exhibition in London. Reviewing the exhibition's catalogue, Carrington was struck by the work of Max Ernst and felt a particular affinity for his dreamlike painting, Two Children Are Threatened by a Nightingale, 1924. The following year, she met Ernst in Paris, and the two soon became romantically involved. This happened when she was just 20 years old. She ran off to Paris to live with him, and her father was shocked and subsequently disowned her. In Paris, Carrington became acquainted with many of the Surrealists, including André Breton, Salvador Dali, Joan Miro, Man Ray, Pablo Picasso, and Louis Buñuel. Ernst left his wife and he and Carrington settled in Saint-Martin-d'Ardèche in southern France in 1938. Most critics dismissed women surrealists, but Ernst encouraged Carrington and she exhibited with the Surrealists internationally. Surrealism's attitude toward women was contradictory. André Breton, the founder of the movement and a key spokesperson, was fascinated by the Freudian idea that female psyche was unrestrained, mystical and erotic, and some female artists associated with the movement, such as Carrington, were framed as the femme enfant, woman child, who served as muse to the male artist. But as Carrington once said, "I didn't have time to be anyone's muse. I was too busy rebelling against my family and learning to be an artist." World War II brought this idyllic period and surrealism in Europe to an abrupt end. Ernst was arrested many times and one time temporarily imprisoned at an internment camp. Leonora fled to Spain with her British friend Catherine Yarrow and her partner Michel Lukács. In Spain, she suffered a psychotic breakdown due to extreme emotional distress and was hospitalized in a mental hospital in Madrid. When she began suffering from repeated delusions and anxiety attacks, her parents intervened in her medical care. Carrington was institutionalized and treated with shock therapy. The artist was traumatized by this ordeal, and she eventually sought refuge in Lisbon's Mexican embassy. There she met Renato Leduc, a diplomat and poet who married her so she could run away from the war-torn Europe and her father. Following a period in New York where she was reunited with many expatriate surrealists, Carrington traveled to Mexico with Leduc. She arrived in Mexico in 1942 and she soon divorced Leduc, though they remained friends. In Mexico, Carrington found a vibrant artistic community. She remained in Mexico City for the rest of her life. Eventually, she married Hungarian photographer Emmerich Weisz, with whom she had 2 sons. Carrington devoted herself to her artwork in the 1940s and 1950s, developing an intensely personal surrealist sensibility that combined autobiographical and occult symbolism. She grew close with several other surrealists when working in Mexico, including Remedios Varo and Benjamin Perret. In 1947, Carrington was invited to participate in an international exhibition of surrealism at the Pierre Matisse Gallery in New York. where her work was immediately celebrated as visionary and uniquely feminine. Her work was also featured in group exhibitions at the Museum of Modern Art and at Peggy Guggenheim's Art of This Century Gallery in New York. During these late years, she began producing bronze sculptures of animals and human figures, in addition to her paintings, prints, and drawings. Carrington died on May 25, 2011 in Mexico City because of complications due to pneumonia. She was 94 years old. Carrington played a significant role in the Surrealist movement, and although her significant artistic output is frequently overshadowed by her association with Ernst, Carrington's work has received more focused attention in these recent years. Her visionary approach to painting and her intensely personal symbolism is now recognized more than ever. Lastly, feminist theory also plays a significant role in recent analysis of Carrington's art. Carrington's personal visual language of folklore, magic, and autobiography led the way for other female artists such as Louise Bourgeois and Kiki Smith, who explored new ways to address female identity and physicality. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have learned something new and enjoyed the video. If there's any other artist and designer's life you want to learn more about, please leave it down in the comments below. I would really appreciate it if you would leave a like, subscribe, and put your notifications on so that you could be notified for when I next post. See you on the next one. Bye!